Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community of lifelong learners. Here, we dive into personal development books that will change your mindset and your life. Today, we're talking about one of the all-time classics in personal finance, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book is a must-read for anyone looking to rethink their approach to money, wealth, and financial independence. It contrasts two very different ways of thinking about money through the author's experiences with his two dads, his real father, the poor dad, and his best friend's father, the rich dad. Both of these father figures shaped his financial education, but in very different ways. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the core lessons of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and explore how these principles can transform the way you think about money. We'll break it down into key lessons that could fundamentally change the course of your financial future. So let's get started. Two dads, two philosophies. To start, let's talk about the basic premise of the book. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures, both of whom had a significant impact on his view of money and success. His biological father, who he calls his poor dad, was a highly educated man who worked as a government employee. He believed in the traditional path to success: go to school, get good grades, find a secure job, and work your way up the ladder. Then there was his rich dad, the father of his best friend. Rich Dad didn't have a college degree, but he was a savvy entrepreneur who understood how to make money work for him. He was always focused on acquiring assets, investing in opportunities, and minimizing liabilities. Now, here's the key. While both men were hardworking and intelligent, they had entirely different views on money. Poor Dad believed that working for money and securing a stable job was the safest route. Rich Dad, on the other hand, believed that working for money was just the beginning, and that true wealth came from learning how to make money work for you. As we explore these lessons, I want you to reflect on which mindset you identify with most. Are you following Poor Dad's advice or Rich Dad's? Think about this in the context of your own life. Which mindset are you currently operating with? Are you following the traditional path, hoping that a good job and a steady paycheck will bring you financial security? Or are you thinking like Rich Dad, looking for opportunities to grow your wealth outside of a conventional salary? It's important to pause and reflect on these questions. Sometimes, we don't realize that we're stuck in an old way of thinking until we actively compare it to new ideas, like those presented by Kiyosaki. Let this video serve us an opportunity for you to start questioning your financial habits and mindset. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. The first major lesson Kiyosaki learns from his rich dad is the concept that the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Think about this for a second. Most of us are taught to get an education, find a job, and work for a paycheck. That's the conventional wisdom passed down through generations. But Rich Dad believed that this mindset keeps people trapped in what he calls the rat race. In the rat race, people are stuck in a cycle of earning money and spending it, without ever truly becoming financially independent. You might get a raise or a promotion, but along with it come higher expenses, bigger houses, nicer cars, more liabilities. This is why many people, even those with high-paying jobs, still struggle financially. Rich Dad emphasized the importance of building passive income streams, income that comes in whether you're working or not. This is the essence of making money work for you. Let's break this down with an example from the book. Kiyosaki talks about how, as a young boy, Rich Dad didn't pay him much when he worked at his store. Instead of giving him a regular paycheck, he taught him how to look for opportunities to earn money on his own. This forced Kiyosaki to think creatively about how to generate income rather than relying on a fixed wage. It was a powerful lesson in financial independence. Now let me ask you, what's one way you could start making money work for you? Maybe it's through investing in stocks, real estate, or starting a side business. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's brainstorm ways we can get out of the rat race. The rat race is more than just a financial trap. It's a mental trap. Many people find themselves chasing after promotions, bonuses, and raises, believing that these will eventually lead to financial freedom. But the truth is, the more you earn, the more you spend. It's a cycle that keeps people stuck in jobs they may not even like, because they're dependent on that paycheck. Escaping the rat race requires a fundamental shift in your mindset. You have to stop thinking like an employee who works for money and start thinking like an investor or business owner who makes money work for them. Lesson 2. It's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. The next key lesson is a crucial one. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Many people believe that earning a higher income will solve all their financial problems. But here's the thing. There are plenty of people who make a lot of money but are still broke. That's because they don't know how to manage their money properly. They're spending it as fast as it comes in, often on liabilities instead of assets. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that financial intelligence is more important than a high income. If you don't understand how money works, how to invest, how to protect it, and how to grow it, you'll always struggle financially no matter how much you earn. This leads us to the critical difference between assets and liabilities. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Simple, right? But many people don't realize this. They think their house or car is an asset, when in fact, those things often drain money through maintenance, taxes, and other expenses. Let me give you an example from the book. Kiyosaki talks about how his poor dad worked hard to buy a house, believing it was an asset. But his rich dad disagreed, pointing out that the house was actually a liability, because it required ongoing payments and didn't generate income. Rich Dad taught him that true assets are things like rental properties, stocks, or businesses that produce passive income. One of the key traps people fall into is equating financial success with material possessions. We're bombarded with images of luxury cars, big homes, and expensive gadgets. And it's easy to believe that these things are the true markers of wealth. But as Kiyosaki emphasizes, wealth is not about what you have. It's about how much of your money is working for you. It's crucial to distinguish between things that look like wealth and things that actually build wealth. That's why focusing on acquiring assets rather than spending money on liabilities is so important. So here's a question for you. What are the assets and liabilities in your life right now? Are you building up your asset column, or are you weighed down by liabilities? Take a moment to reflect and think about ways you can shift your financial focus. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Another major lesson Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad is to mind your own business. Now, this doesn't mean you should stay out of other people's affairs. It's about focusing on building your own assets, even if you have a job. Here's the deal. Poor Dad believed that climbing the corporate ladder was the path to success. But Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to always be building his own business on the side, even while working a 9-to-5 job. He taught him that if you're only working for someone else, you're building their dream, not yours. Even if you're employed, you can still work on building your own business or investments. It could be starting a small side hustle, investing in real estate, or creating multiple streams of income. The goal is to make sure that you're not 100% dependent on a paycheck from someone else. In the book, Kiyosaki shares how he started investing in real estate while still working his job. He wasn't making a lot of money at first, but over time those investments grew, and eventually he had enough passive income to leave his job. It's all about starting small and letting your assets grow over time. Do you have a side business or investment you're building? If not, what could you start today? Share your ideas in the comments and let's inspire each other to take action. Let me give you an example from my own life. I once worked a full-time job, and although I had a stable income, I knew that I wanted to build something for myself on the side. I started small, first with some freelance work, then moving into small investments. These side projects didn't generate a lot of income right away, but over time they started to grow. The key was staying committed and understanding that every step was building toward a future where I didn't have to rely on a single source of income. Just like Kiyosaki teaches, minding my own business while still employed was a game changer. Lesson 4. The importance of financial literacy. Financial literacy is at the heart of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Kiyosaki makes it clear that the reason most people struggle financially is not because they aren't working hard. It's because they don't know how money works. Rich Dad always emphasized the importance of constantly learning about money. Schools teach us how to work for money, but they rarely teach us how to make money work for us. If you don't understand the basics of finance, how to manage debt, how to invest, how to read financial statements, you're going to have a hard time building wealth. In the book, Kiyosaki stresses the importance of understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, learning about taxes, and understanding how to leverage investments. One thing that really stood out to me in the book is how Kiyosaki started reading financial statements at a young age. Rich Dad taught him how to analyze income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. This gave him the tools to spot opportunities and make smarter financial decisions later in life. Imagine if we were all taught this in school. Take a moment to think about your own financial literacy. How comfortable are you with financial terms like assets, liabilities, cash flow, or capital gains? If you're feeling unsure, don't worry. It's never too late to start learning. The important thing is to begin building your financial education today. One of the biggest challenges we face today is the lack of financial education in schools. Most of us are taught how to be good employees, but very few are taught how to be good investors or entrepreneurs. Kiyosaki is a strong advocate for changing this. Imagine if kids were taught the principles of cash flow, assets, and liabilities from a young age. How different would their financial futures be? It's never too late to start your own financial education, though. Whether it's reading books, taking online courses, or finding a mentor, you can always improve your financial IQ. In fact, that's what we're doing here today. Building your financial literacy, one lesson at a time. Lesson 5. The power of corporations and taxes. Now let's dive into a more advanced concept that Kiyosaki touches on: the power of corporations and understanding taxes. This may sound intimidating, but once you understand it, it can change the way you think about money. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that the wealthy use corporations to protect their assets and minimize their taxes. When you work for someone else, you earn income, pay taxes on it, and then pay your expenses. But with a corporation, you can earn income, pay expenses, and then get taxed on what's left. It's a subtle but important difference. In the book, Kiyosaki shares how he started using this strategy by creating corporations to handle his real estate investments. This allowed him to legally minimize his tax burden and grow his wealth more quickly. While this might seem like something only for the rich, the truth is that anyone can learn how to use these strategies. It's about understanding the rules of money and learning how to play the game to your advantage. How much do you know about taxes and how they impact your financial future? Understanding how taxes work is crucial if you want to keep more of the money you earn. Lesson 6. Overcoming fear and taking risks. Finally, Kiyosaki talks a lot about overcoming fear and taking risks. One of the biggest things that hold people back from financial success is fear. The fear of failure, the fear of losing money, or the fear of stepping out of the comfort zone. Rich Dad taught him that failure is a part of success. Most people play it safe, but the rich understand that to win, you need to take calculated risks. The key word here is calculated. It's not about jumping into things blindly. It's about educating yourself, learning the market, and then taking action. In the book, Kiyosaki talks about how he and his wife Kim went through financial struggles before they achieved financial freedom. They weren't afraid to take risks, even though they faced failures along the way. Eventually, their perseverance paid off. Let's talk more about fear. Fear of losing money, fear of making a bad investment, fear of failure. It's something everyone experiences, no matter how wealthy or successful they are. But here's the thing, fear can be paralyzing if you let it. Kiyosaki explains that it's natural to feel afraid, but what separates successful people from the rest is their ability to push through that fear. They take educated risks, learn from their failures, and keep moving forward. I want you to ask yourself, what fears are holding you back? Is it the fear of leaving a comfortable job, or maybe the fear of investing your hard-earned money? Identify those fears and start working through them, one step at a time. So here's a challenge for you. What's one risk you could take today to move closer to financial freedom? Maybe it's starting that business you've been thinking about, or investing in your first stock or real estate property. Share your ideas in the comments below, and let's encourage each other to take bold steps. So there you have it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad in a nutshell. This book is filled with valuable insights that go beyond just earning more money. It's about changing your mindset, building financial literacy, and taking control of your financial future. If there's one key takeaway from this book, it's this. Financial education is the foundation of wealth. Without it, no amount of money will make a difference. So I encourage you to keep learning, keep investing in your financial knowledge, and start applying these lessons in your own life. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who could benefit from it, and let me know in the comments. What was your biggest takeaway from Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community of learners. We're all about growth here, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. Did you enjoy today's book? Did something resonate with you? If so, take a few minutes, jot some notes and action steps on how you can implement today's reading. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and remember, your financial future depends on the actions you take today.